First opened back in 2010. We're on the air from Target Field here in downtown Minneapolis. Tonight it's the first of 4 between the Houston Astros and the Minnesota Twins. Which of these two will prevail? Next on the show. Jose Barrios will be on the mound for the series opener. What do you have for us on him, Danny?
One of the things that jumps out, if you look at that stat sheet, a very high whip coming into this start. One of the things he's going to have to do a much better job, keep traffic off the bases, keep the walks down, try to limit the...
Ball 4, take your base.
Digging in, Lou Gehrig.
Batting
First at bat for him in
the
this one. He was
hitter.
1 for 4
Number
with a double
4.
in the ball game last night. Ready to deliver. Here's the first pitch. Clearly off with his timing on that one. A swinging strike. And guys, as we take a look at the Twins at the start of play here tonight, they come in playing well. 6-3 over the last 9 ball games, including a victory last time out.
Yeah, Matty, you never know right here. Interleague game, when the weather gets cold, this could be a nice harbinger to what we're going to see in the Fall Classic right here. 2 first-place teams going to lock horns in a battle, and I'm jacked up.
And the reason he's working away so much here is because he's got that big hole on the right side of the infield to worry about. With the first baseman holding the runner on, it's always smart to pitch into the defense you have behind you.
Here's the 1-1 delivery to first.
Dig,
Reined
dig, dig.
in. And he'll step on the bag himself, and the inning is over. So no runs on no hits, no errors, and 1 man left on. And now the Twins will go to work on offense. We've got no score. Lefty Grove gets the start for Houston in this one. Dan, any thoughts?
Hey, Matt, we're getting a chance to look at a guy that's really struggled lately. ERA over 5 in his last 3 starts, so he's going to have to really improve on that one. Too many base runners, too many hits, and too many walks. He needs to get off to a good start and maybe throw up a 0 in the first inning.
The batter, number 4.
So bases are empty here with 2 gone, and in steps the Iron Horse, Lou Gehrig. He's ready. Here's the first offering. Oh, and a hearty cut there to begin the at-bat. It's 0-1.
I mean, this is the classic case of ambush tactics at its finest, but this is getting a little ridiculous. I'd like to see some of these guys in the lineup work the count a little bit and find themselves on base and maybe drive this guy's pitch count up.
The windup and the 0-1. Ripped down the first
Run it out,
base
run it
line.
out.
And he'll step on the bag himself, and the inning is over. Astros go down 1-2-3. On to the bottom of the 4th now, still with no score. Now to the plate, Lou
Now
Gehrig.
batting.
He was retired
Number
via the
4.
ground ball last time up. First pitch coming. Here it is. And the first pitch here is below the knees, but he gets him to chase it, and it's 0-1.
Oh, man, he took a swing and a half at that one. I think some frustration is creeping into these guys, so he might have just been trying to get his guys on the board with 1 swing.
And this one's downstairs. It's a ball and a strike. The 1-1 home. Grounder hit hard down the first baseline, but a foul ball. 1-2 the count now. The next 1-2 pitch. Outside and low that time. Now it's 2 balls and 2 strikes.
This kind of hitter right here, we call this guy a grinder. What are grinders? They just kind of foul off some good pitches. They lay off the pitches just off the plate. This is every pitcher's nightmare, a guy that's up there with a plan and not just up there swinging at anything that you throw towards home plate.
Buxton is back, and he'll get there to make the play for out number 2. So digging in now, Lou Gehrig, and this tie ball game is a battle of the bullpens now, and I'm sure you're enjoying that, Dan.
Bullpens are such a big part of baseball now, Matt. All these teams have such good 7th, 8th, and 9th inning guys. It all boils down to whose bullpen is better.
First pitch of the at-bat. Breaking ball that time that misses out of the zone. Rogers is a fairly prototypical bullpen arm in today's game. Electric stuff that results in a lot of strikeouts, and that clearly helps him through the tough spots like the one he finds himself in here.
Matty V, let me tell you something. What makes this guy so special? He's like his own relief pitcher for a relief pitcher. He gets into trouble, and what does he do? He kind of puts it in 5th gear, and he just takes.
And he turns this one around high and deep to center field. Buxton is going to get back, and he'll put this one away on the warning track for the first out. And he'll indeed move up 90 feet, putting runners at the corners now with 1 away.
Good read there at second base to know he could make it to 3rd on the flyout. Now he's only 90 feet. Well, that's just a great job of battling on the road. They fought all the way to the end, took the lead in the top of the 9th, and secured the W in the bottom half. That's a great team win.
3-2 the finish in tonight's game. The Stros came through when it mattered in the 9th on the way to the win. Hal Newhouser gets the win in relief, his 2nd of the year. Raleigh Fingers closes the door for the save, his 11th of the campaign. So that just about does it for Mark DeRosa, Dan Plesac, Heidi Watney, and our entire crew. I'm Matt Vasgersian. You've been watching MLB The Show. For more, make your way over to theshownation.com.
Fans, our final line score tonight. First for the victorious Astros, 3 runs on 3 hits, no errors. They left 16 men on base. Time of the ball game, 2 hours and 52 minutes. Thank you for joining us here this evening. We remind you to please drive home safely.
Tuesday night baseball now from the home of the Twins, Target Field in Minneapolis. Tonight, the second of 4 to begin the week between the Houston Astros and the Minnesota Twins. It's baseball on the show, and it's coming up next. Kyle Gibson, the right-hander out of Indiana, will be doing the pitching in this one. What do we need to know here, Danny?
Hey, you can't always judge a pitcher by the numbers. I know the ERA is into the 4s coming into this start, but he's actually a pretty solid pitcher. And every once in a while, he can throw some decent games in there. It's not easy having an ERA.
Ball 4, take the base.
Now at the plate, Lou Gehrig comes off an 0 for 4 in last night's ball game.
Number 4.
First pitch on its way. Skied in the air to straightaway left. And that one skips up over the wall for a ground rule double.
Pretty good swing right there as he drives this ball deep. One hops over the wall, and he can just walk into second base with a ground rule double.
Now batting, Jimmy Fox. And
Batting
Houston
fifth.
looking for more
The
here
first
in
baseman.
just the opening frame
Number
of the
3.
game. Popped him up. Polanco over to his right. Makes the play, and there are 2 gone now. Now here's a look at the Astros starting lineup. What do we need to know about these guys for this evening's matchup on the road, D-Row?
Well, Matt, this goes for both lineups. They know they're dealing with a tough test in a pitcher's park, but they can't let that bother them too bad, or they'll walk out of here a 3-4 game set, 0 for 12, 0 for 15. They have to find a way to stay within themselves, line drive approach. One will carry out of here if they get
Batting
it.
fifth. The second baseman.
Standing in,
Number
Rogers
0.
Hornsby, runner in scoring position with 2 gone. Gibson comes set, coming at him with the 0-1.
Stand up.
Weak roller right side. And he'll step on the bag himself, and the inning is over. So it's 2 runs here on 2 hits, with one of them being the home run. On now to the bottom of inning number 1. Houston leads this one 2-0. Babe Ruth is on the mound for Houston in this one. Dan Plesac, what's the word on him?
Hey, this guy's had a solid year up to this point. It's not an easy thing to do in baseball this year with all the high-scoring games, but this guy has an ERA of sub-3, and that's saying something. If he continues to do that, I think you're going to see a really good performance out of him in this one.
Now batting.
Stepping
Number 4.
in, Lou Gehrig. He'll try to follow up the double in his last at-bat with another big hit right here.
Yeah, he jumped all over that first pitch last time up. Interested to see if he has the same approach this AB.
Gehrig, the former Yankee, he became a member of this team after signing as a free agent earlier this season.
Yeah, he didn't have an opportunity to really get acclimated to this ball club. Showing up during the season is not always easy, opening the doors to a big league clubhouse and trying to get to know your teammates. The best way to get to know them is to go out and produce.
Stepping in and ready for another
The
shot,
batter,
Lou Gehrig.
number
He
4.
doubled earlier in the game, 1 for 2 to this point. Looking to minimize the damage here. Big swing, but he just gets a piece of it. Strike 1. Comes set, the 0-1. And he jumps at a changeup, a swing and a miss.
Well, he had big aspirations behind that swing. Pretty obvious he was trying to put 4 runs on the board in a hurry.
Not a bad pitch there with 2 strikes, but it misses 1 and 2.
Not a bad pitch right there on 0-2, a fastball. And I think as a hitter right now, you have to continue to go up there looking to hit off the fastball.
The 1-2 pitch. A swing and a miss as he chased with 2 strikes, and that will retire the side. Astros plate 1 on a couple of hits. On now to the bottom half of inning number 4. It's the Astros 3 and the Twins nothing. Digging in to try it again, Lou
Number
Gehrig.
4.
He'll look to bounce back after striking out his last time up.
And you can live with punching out with the bases empty, but in his last at bat with 2 runners in scoring position, you cannot go down not putting the ball in play. Too much on the line, too many ribby opportunities out there to swing and miss in that spot.
And this ball is crushed deep down the right field line. And that's going to wind up hooking just a bit foul, so a missed opportunity there.
Back-to-back breaking balls. He just missed that one right there, fouling it away. Do not expect a third.
And he fouls this one off. Kaline leads off first with a pair of outs in the inning. The next 0-2 misses, and that'll move it to 1-2 now. Fouled off.
He's just having a hard time putting this guy away. 4 foul balls in this AB. I don't think this pitcher has got something that he can get a swing and a miss on.
He'll try again. 1-2. Oh, and he hammers it to deep right field. Kepler has to retreat to the track, but he has it to retire the side. One left for Houston. They lead it 3-0. At the plate, Lou Gehrig. He
Now
comes
back.
into this appearance in the midst of a 1-for-4 day. He's set, and the pitch. And he'll just fight this one off as it's chopped foul. With this one almost in the books, the story was clearly the long ball. What are your thoughts on this offense, fellas?
Well, Matty V, I don't know what your thoughts are, D-Roll, but boy, when the weather starts to warm up and the ball starts jumping out like this, it's clear that the pitchers need to start making better pitches.
Yeah, just great approach. No one really chased today. Really stayed staunch on their ability to get that pitcher to come into the heart of the plate, and they did damage with it.
Oh, and they pull the string on a good changeup there as he swings and misses, and he's set down on strikes for the second time tonight.
Boy, there's the perfect pitch right there, the straight changeup. He hadn't used it yet in this at-bat, and what does he do? He uses it, pulls the string, and gets the... Hey, listen, in baseball, we don't see very many complete games any longer because of pitch counts, but listen, he was good from the first inning through the ninth. Well-deserved complete game victory.
And tonight's comes to a conclusion, 6-1 the final. The Houston Astros jumped out to an early lead in the first and never looked back. Babe Ruth notches his 3rd win of the year, turning in a very strong complete game effort. So that's a wrap here tonight. For Mark DeRosa, Dan Plesac, and Heidi Watney, this is Matt Vasgersian. You've been watching MLB The Show. For more, find us on Twitter at MLB The Show.
Fans, our final line score tonight. First for the victorious Astros, 6 runs, 10 hits, no errors. They left 14 men on base. Time of the ball game, 3 hours and 8 minutes. Thank you for joining us here this evening. We remind you to please drive home safely.
Welcome to our Wednesday edition of Inside the Show. Let's jump right into Tuesday's action. Starting out west in the American League, the Astros swatted 4 home runs in this one as they defeated the Twins in the Twin Cities 6-1. Chris Sale got the win, throwing 8 shutout innings, helping lead the way for the Red Sox over the A's 6-0.
The show's coverage of Wednesday night baseball finds us at Target Field in Minneapolis. Game 1 here in the month of May between the Houston Astros and the Minnesota Twins. It's going to be a premier pitching matchup. Two of the league's hardest throwers go head-to-head next. Fernando Romero, the right-handed native of the Dominican Republic, will be the starter. What do you have for us on him, Danny?
Hey, if you're looking for Achilles heel from this pitcher, this jumps right out at you. Right-handed batters are hitting over 300 on the season against this guy. That's something he's going to have to improve on.
Ow! Ow! He's out. 3.
Next will be the cleanup hitter. Lou Gehrig comes into this one with just 1 hit in 9 tries for the series. He's ready. Here's the first offering. The fastball here as he'll take a look at ball 1, 1-0. And guys, as we take a look at the Twins at the start of play here tonight, they come in not exactly setting the world on fire as they've dropped 5 of their last 8 ball games.
Yeah, Matty V. Hey, D-Row, this has not been the kind of homestand that they would like to have so far. Through the first 5 games, they're 2-3. D-Row, getting to 500 on this homestand is certainly one thing they'd like to do here today.
Yeah, they can salvage a little bit right now. They can walk out of here today with a smile on their face if they can get this back to 500 in these first 6 games.
Swing and a miss, and it's a ball and 2 strikes here. Time for a look at our umpires in this one. Behind the plate is Ed Drummond.
Yeah, Matty. Hey, you know what, D-Row? This Ed Drummond, he's a good umpire. Fair umpire, good ball and strike umpire. Pretty much straight down the road.
That's all you look for, Dan. Just be consistent. I don't care if you're giving.
Oh, and while we talked, that pitch got away and ended up hitting him. So he'll head down to first on the hit by pitch.
Yeah, I can hear the crowd murmuring now, wondering if he hit him on purpose. But, hey, us pitchers need to be able to throw inside, especially when facing hitters as dangerous as he is. Pretty sure this one just got away from him, and, hey, that's part of the game.
Into the box now, Jimmy Fox. He's looking to get things going at the plate. It has not been going his way of late. The 1-2 is swung on and missed. He got him on strikes.
Okay, here's how the Twins are lining up defensively. And guys, taking a look at this defense is going to have to be stout today. Starting pitcher with an ERA north of 5 usually spells some barrels being found by the opposition. So these guys better be on their toes in this one.
At the plate, Rogers Hornsby. He went deep in the contest last night.
The second baseman, number 0.
The 1-1. Slow grounder.
Come on, get here.
Got it. One there. But one's all they were ever going to get, and the inning will continue.
That's a really tough double play to turn when the first baseman has to field it coming off the bag and then make a throw to second while the runner is going down the line. Couldn't complete the double play, but at least they got one out.
So here's the cleanup hitter,
Now
Lou Gehrig. And if you
Number
didn't know,
4.
he was recently awarded the American League Player of the Month award. He's ready. Here's the first offering. Swung on, and there it goes. It is high. It is far. It is gone. A solo shot here to straightaway right field. Number 11 for him on the season. And the Astros have pulled back even now with 1 run apiece.
This is the first home run of the game, but the bats are definitely alive for both teams tonight. There have been a ton of hits already. These pitchers might want to duck and cover if things continue this way.
Lou Gehrig will stride in again, and you can bet he'd
Leading
love
off for
to do
Houston,
again what he
the
did back
designated
in the
hitter,
fourth. A
number
solo
4.
home run here that's been the only long ball of the game so far. First pitch on its way. Fouled away. Hit pretty well out to deep left field. Back goes Rosario, but he has no chance to make the play. It's off the wall. Not in time, and he's in there with a double. So quickly into scoring position here following the opposite field double. And as you can see on the graphic, his total currently leads this Astros ball club. Ready now, Jimmy Fox. Third
Now
trip
batting,
to the plate for him
number
here.
3.
He struck out and grounded out in his first 2 tries. .30 pitch. And a fastball misses there, ball 4.
And as a pitcher, that's always tough. Looked like he got a bad break on some of those calls, but he's got to learn that sometimes the calls don't go your way, and you've just got to move on. That's something that young pitchers can have a hard time with, though.
Digging in once
Now
again,
batting,
Rogers Hornsby.
number
It
0.
was a walk in his last trip. .3-2 pitch. Line drive to left. Rosario is right there as he puts it away. No problem for the first down. Now in the box, Ty Cobb.
The batter,
He got on top of
number
one and was a
0.
ground out victim last time.
Yeah, Matty, expect this pitcher to try and get the same result. That's his last at bat right here. The double play is in order. Anything on the ground, the way this defense is, they could certainly roll too.
So he racks up the swinging strikeout on the breaking ball. Ty Cobb is sent packing for out number 2 in the 6th.
Really impressive pitching right there. Sometimes as a pitcher, you can get frustrated when you make a good pitch and you don't get that call from the umpire. But
The
what does he
third
do?
baseman,
He
number
comes
5.
back with a good pitch
Rookie,
and gets the strike.
Robinson.
.30. Here it is. And he misses with it for ball 4. So the bases will be loaded now with 2 away.
It was obvious when the count ran to 2-0 that they were not going to give this guy anything to hit. Sometimes you have to pick your battles, and they're going to try their luck with the next hitter.
Now at the plate, Johnny Bench.
The catcher,
A hit
number
in 2
5.
at-bats for him at this
Johnny
point in the ballgame.
Bench.
A ball and 2 strikes. This is hit high in the air
dig,
out
dig,
toward
dig.
left center. Rosario is there as he makes the catch, and they'll tightrope out of danger as he strands the bases loaded. Astros leave them loaded. They lead it 2-1. Digging in and looking
The
for
batter,
more, Lou
number
Gehrig.
4.
2 hits in 2 trips for him thus far. First delivery to him on the way. Fastball off the plate away for ball 1. Musial takes his lead at third with 1 away. This is line to left. Rosario is there, and that should be deep enough to score the run. And not in time as the run scores.
Well, that wasn't your standard sac fly hit. It was hit pretty low and hard, so it wasn't a given they were going to send him. But they did, and they add a number to the run column.
So here's the Astros
Leading off for
cleanup
the
hitter,
Astros,
Lou Gehrig.
the designated
Hit the
hitter,
ball pretty well in his
number
last
4.
at-bat, but it resulted in a line out.
Yeah, Matty, it's always a little frustrating when you square one up. You hit a solid line drive like he did, and all you have to show for it is a jog back to the dugout. That can get in your head for a little while.
Into the windup. Here comes the 0-1. He couldn't pull that one back as he clearly broke the plane to the plate, and that'll be ruled a strike. With this one almost in the books, the story was clearly the long ball. What are your thoughts on this offense, fellas?
Well, Matty V, I don't know.
Now here's a ball hit high and deep to straightaway right field, but that'll be off the right field wall. And he is into second with a double, his third hit of the night.
Sometimes when a reliever comes in a game, he wants to get that first strike so bad that he serves one up, and that's exactly what happens here. The first batter he faces just rockets one off the wall, and now he's got to worry about another base hit, potentially bringing home a run.
Stepping up to the plate, Jimmy
Now
Fox. He flew out
Number
in his
3.
last at-bat.
Almost, Matty. Almost went deep his last AB. Certainly just missed it. With this guy's big power, he's feeling pretty good at the dish. Look for him to try and get on something and drive it out of the yard this AB.
So he ran the fastball by him for the punch-out. Jimmy Fox becomes the first out in the 9th inning.
Well, his struggles continue. It's been a rough go of it at the plate with him, and watching this at bat, it's clear to me that his rhythm and timing, they're just all off. Even as a pitcher like I was, you can tell these things and exploit them.
The batter,
Trying to pick things up
number
where he
0.
left off, Rogers Hornsby. It was a solo shot for him in his last at-bat.
It'll be interesting to see if they use that changeup in this at-bat. That last at-bat, that was a changeup he hit for a home run. I'm going to see if this time they don't go to more fastballs and curveballs.
Throw gets him, 2 down. So a runner at second, 2 down now. And here comes the Georgia
number
Peach,
0.
Ty Cobb. Gehrig stands at second with 2 gone. And he struck him out. So a good pitch there, and now they're going to need to string some hits together in this last at-bat if they want to get back in this thing. Astros leave 1 as they're unable to add to their 6-3 lead.
Yeah, and in this game, you always try to find a way to be hopeful. They win the first game of a new month and are now looking to keep it rolling the rest of the way.
And tonight's comes to an end, 6-3 the final. The Houston Astros jumped ahead in the 7th inning and never gave the lead back. Bob Feller earns win number 4 on the season. Raleigh Fingers records the save, his 12th of the season. So that just about does it for Mark DeRosa, Dan Plesac, Heidi Watney, and our entire crew. I'm Matt Vasgersian. You've been watching MLB The Show. For more, make your way over to theshownation.com.
Fans, our final line score tonight. First for the victorious Astros, 6 runs on 12 hits. 1 error. They left 14 men on base. Time of the ball game, 3 hours and 11 minutes. Thank you for joining us here tonight. And we remind you to please drive home safely.
Now from the home of the Twins since 2010, Target Field in Minneapolis, Minnesota. Today it's the finale of this 4-game set between the Houston Astros and the Minnesota Twins. The Astros have a chance at completing a rare 4-game series sweep. First pitch is coming up. Martin Perez, the Venezuelan left-hander, will be the man on the mound. What do you have for us on him, Danny?
Hey, listen, when you can go 7 full innings like he did, I know he got a no decision in his last start, but it was a real solid performance. If he continues to pitch like that, the wins are going to start coming.
He's out.
Next up for the Stros,
Batting
Ted Williams.
The designated hitter, Ted Williams.
He comes set. Here's the 0-0 pitch. High and deep to center field. Buxton racing back on the warning track. He makes
on the bag, right here.
And he'll make it up safely to third, so they're at the corners now with 2 men out. Now here's a look at the Astros starting lineup. Mark, how do they go about breaking out the brooms on the road?
Well, Matty, the old cliche goes battlers, grinders. I know it gets old saying that, but that's the exact description of what this lineup presents today to the opposing pitcher. They do not strike out. He is going to...
Next will be the designated hitter, Ted Williams. 0 for 1 here in the early going.
Ted Williams.
Ready with the first pitch. Here it comes. No balls and a strike to count. Setting him up inside as he swings and misses for strike 2. Well, today's game provides the visiting squad with a chance to complete the series sweep, guys.
You might start to call these guys the road warriors. It's hard to win on the road, and with a win today, they would complete a sweep of a 4-game set on the road.
Ball 1 as he lays off below the zone. And one thing that would certainly help their cause in going for the sweep is if they can break out the big bats like they did yesterday. Several home runs in that ball game.
It's not easy to hit home runs with this day and age with guys throwing with increased velocity. They were knocking the ball out of the ballpark all day yesterday. They'd like to save a...
There's a swing and a drive hit well out to right field. Booyah! A solo shot here to straightaway right field. Home run number 5 on the year as the Astros have opened it up now 4-0. So that was the 3rd home run for these guys today.
You know, D-Row, looks like the boys are dialing long distance from the batter's box so far.
Digging in, Ted Williams, 1 for 2 in the ball game thus far.
Well, you don't see this very often, Matty V. A 2-strike straight changeup. But this guy changeup is one of the best in the league. We'll see if he tries that different approach this time. And maybe if he gets to 2 strikes, try to use the fastball a little bit more than that straight changeup.
And he'll flip it to the pitcher covering for the out.
Good pitch right there to run the 2-seamer in on his hands and bunch him up. And an easy ground ball is the result.
Striding in, Ted Williams is working on a 1 for 3 thus far.
Ted Williams.
Here's the first pitch to him. And it's fouled away. Boy, he comes back with a beautiful pitch there, and he's dominating this at-bat. It's 0-2 now.
Hey, he's going to have to set his sights a little bit more over the heart of the plate. I can't have one of my best left-handed power hitters reaching and taking an ugly swing like that.
And a half swing that time, but it's a full swing in the eyes of the umpire, and that'll be the first out of the inning.
Fooled him just enough with that pitch to get him to go around, according to the umpire.
Ted Williams will stride in again, and before he takes his cuts here, let's flash you back to the third inning. This was just a solo shot, but it definitely helped get this offense going. First pitch on its way. Tried to check it, and it's 0-1. With this one almost in the books, the story was clearly the long ball. What are your thoughts on this offense, fellas?
Well, Matty V, I don't know what your thoughts are, D-Roll, but boy, when the weather starts to warm up and the ball starts jumping out like this, it's clear that the pitchers need to start making better pitches.
Yeah, just great approach. No one really chased today. Really stayed staunch on their ability to get that pitcher to come into the heart of the plate, and they did damage with it.
Hey, it's hard to win games at any point, but to win games on the road, especially in this ballpark, so they are very happy with this win.
8-2 is how this one ends today. The Stros led this game from the third inning on and never wavered. Vida Blue earns win number 4 on the season as he turns in 8 strong innings of work. So that just about does it for Mark DeRosa, Dan Plesac, Heidi Watney, and our entire crew. I'm Matt Vasgersian. You've been watching MLB The Show. For more, make your way over to theshownation.com.
Fans, our final line score this afternoon. First for the victorious Astros, 8 runs on 17 hits. No errors. They left 16 men on base. Time of the ball game, 3 hours and 19 minutes. Thank you for joining us here this afternoon. And we remind you to please drive home safely.